Hey family, it's Tosh Mom Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. So today we are going to talk about one of those topics that these types of channels talk about all the time, and that is seasons, getting ready for seasons. You know, it's going to be the craziest winter coming. It's going to be the craziest summer. The heat's going to be crazy. The winter's going to be crazy. Whatever it is, right? It's not that it's not true. It's a natural progression to ensure that you're getting ready for the next season that's coming. And winter's no different. Winter is coming. It's going to come soon. And you've got to start, if you haven't started already, you've got to start thinking about winter and thinking about the different things you need to do to prepare for it before that weather happens, that weather change. Now, I know a lot of people are like, I can't. I'm just trying to deal with the heat, trying to deal with the season at hand. And you want me to start thinking about the cold already. Yes, I do. Because the quicker you get on board with different things that need to happen, the less stress is going to come to you and your family. And of course, your house is going to be a lot more prepared and ready as a whole for those changes. So today I've got 13 things for you. Let's get into it. These are just ideas for getting ready for winter. So one I have is, and these aren't in any order, I just started brainstorming. One is plug holes. You can get foam, you can get different products on the market, but you're basically walking around room to room, plugging holes. This is you going under the house, plugging holes. This is you inside the house, plugging holes, holes around doors, around windows, cracks, up above ceilings. Especially if you have an old house, there's all types of stuff that you can seal. If you have an attic, you can go in the attic and do this from the attic. So just be thinking about all the different spaces that have holes or that you've identified air is coming in or whatever the case may be, and rectify those areas. This might not be plugging a hole. This might be, hey, you have a huge gap under your door and you're just trying to ensure that air is not coming in from the bottom of doors or the side of doors or whatever it is, okay? You need to be thinking about how do you plug that and how do you keep that air out and heat in and all that good stuff. Next thing I have is window covering. So this could be bubble wrap, this could be plastic, this could just be heavier curtains. Maybe it's time to put those heavier curtains up. Maybe you already have heavier curtains up to keep the heat out, right? So blackout curtains, those really heavy duty curtains are good for both. They're good to keep heat out and they're good to keep heat in. So we have some of those in our bedroom. And they work very, very well in the summer because it's a window that gets a lot of sun in the afternoon, and the curtain has to be shut because otherwise it just beams just tons of heat into the bedroom if we don't have those. But the same thing is those same curtains are very, very helpful in the winter for keeping, you know, your heat inside the house as well. Okay, so I'm a big fan of heavy curtains. So it could just be that. Could be plastic. It could be plastic putting up in different areas, different rooms that you want to just completely shut off the you know, air getting out. Could be bubble wrap. A lot of people put bubble wrap up. So there's various different things. There's films, there's different things and products that you can buy, but think about your windows and how to secure your windows a little bit more as far as keeping that heat inside. Next thing I have is wood stock, right? If you have a wood stove, you have a fireplace, you have whatever, stockpile. This is an area that I think if you have the space to stockpiling several cords of wood if you can. Obviously, if you can't, what's your situation like? Even if you had a little rental, I had a rental, but I had a fireplace or I had a wood stove or whatever, then I'm probably buying or purchasing some kind of shed. Like maybe I can't build a lean-to and I can't build a shed, but maybe they'll let me bring a temporary shed that can be moved off the property when I leave that I can bring on and fill up with wood. Maybe it's maybe there's already a shed out there that I can use, or maybe there's the side of the shed that I can use. And it's just a lean-to with a tarp, right? Something a little bit less final, right? It can be temporary. And I'm wood. People put wood out on pallets and then just cover it with heavy duty tarps. So whatever it is that you have to do, if you have the space, get the wood. Have that backup for an emergency in case you guys can't leave. The thing about winter, it's easy to think about is like it's cold. If a storm happens and you're like, you got to hunker down because you guys are like stormed in, right? You can't really leave with cars, you know. What do you have there to make sure that you can continue life and be still providing the essentials and be okay with you and your family and stay warm and not have to go out and chop more firewood or try to procure more, like you ran out and you're like, oh, I got to go buy some more, right? This goes for the people that chop your own wood. Maybe you have property where you have wood. Chopping it ahead of time and getting ready for winter, right? Getting it all chopped now. So you're not out there in winter chopping down trees and splitting wood and all of that good stuff. Split all of it now. I know it's hot. Do it in the evenings. Do it when it's, cool. Split a little bit at a time, but get that ready, get it stacked, get it stocked, ready to go, and don't count on, oh, I'll just get more later if I need to, right? And that includes all the tools, making sure that everything is ready to go. You got extra gas for the chainsaws, you got extra chains, you got all the stuff, right? All the things to help you do those things, okay? Next thing I have is your backup heat. Like, okay, however you heat your home, propane, wood, electric, whatever. What is your backup if you lose power or storm comes through, you lose power? What is your backup heat source? How are you continuing to keep your family warm? Maybe that's the wood, that's great, but some people don't have that. So is it propane? Do you have some kind of propane heater? Do you have, like, what is it, and how do you plan to keep your family home? And what are your backups? Don't just have one backup. If you can, multiple backups to backups, right? Next thing I have is sandbags. Super important with rain season coming. You have mudslides, you have flooding, you have standing water, you have different situations, different varying situations. So having some sandbags filled already, knowing where you would put those sandbags that are already filled. Maybe you have some filled on a crate or something. Where are those allocated to go at first, right? Where are the places that you think you would need that? Hey, I've got enough filled that would just go to the bottom of my doors, or to divert away from my driveway, down my driveway, or divert away from basement windows, or whatever it is, right? You've got enough filled for that, but then you have extra bags that you could fill. How would you fill them? Think about it, right? You might have to bring in sand and dirt and stuff like that to fill them, or you might have some property and you have a way to fill them, but you need to think that through so that you're ready to go. Next thing I have is tarps, staples, tapes, all that good stuff, right? Prepare for leaks, trees falling on your house, maybe, any kind of temporary fixes, any kind of leaks, window leaks, roof leaks, you name it, right? And this goes for you. This goes for your structures that you have livestock in. This goes for pet structures. This goes for everybody, right? Good old tarp for various things, to cover things. To keep things to keep things dry, whatever the case may be, okay? Tarps, staples to put the tarps up, or tape or rope or whatever it is you're using to assist you. Next thing I have is salt. So having salt ready to go to salt your pathways, your walkways, to make things a little bit safer when you are trying to walk around your property. Next thing I have is snow shovels or plowers or snow blowers or whatever it is, the little snow blower machine you have. Maybe you have a bobcat with an attachment that you can, plow your driveway. Maybe this is just your hand shovels to be able to do sidewalks and your walkways and making a path to livestock, making a path to the garage, making a path to the car, that type of thing, okay? So getting all your snow and ice type tools. Next thing I have is insulation. So be thinking, a lot of us have chickens or other animals, and in wintertime, we do insulate more. Maybe we throw blankets on certain things. Maybe we have extra insulation. Maybe we have wind tactic, manipulating the wind direction of hitting animals. Whatever it is that we have that we're trying to protect our animals a little bit more, insulate them in a little bit more different way. I have these big moving blankets that I actually have nails on the outside of the chicken coop that I hang all around the outside of the actual chicken coop. Now, I just have a tiny chicken coop right now. I don't have a huge big, barn type, shed type, right? But later when we do, that won't be something that I do. But because we have a small chicken coop now, that worked out perfect. I have these blankets. I put them up last year. They were perfect. It just gives them a little bit more insulation. Not so much for heat. Yeah, a little bit for heat but chickens can, are fine in the cold. It was more for the wind. The wind here just kicks. I mean, it kicks. And so this was really to help keep that wind from coming in the coop at night when they're trying to be more comfortable, okay? So insulation, coop, barn. This could be insulation for your greenhouse, a little bit extra, getting ready for your greenhouse. Some greenhouses, you still got to insulate a little bit, keep those plants alive, that type of thing. So insulation as a whole. This could be insulation for your house. This could be your pipes, thinking about insulation of your pipes. looking at the insulation under your home and in your attic or wherever it is, and just making sure that that is still top notch and still good to go and doesn't need to be replaced. The next thing I have is extra essentials, right? If you're going to be stormed in, do you have the extra stuff to just live? Extra food for you, pets, babies, elderly, livestock, everybody, right? So what do you have for stocked extra food? What do you have for extra water? What do you have for extra medicine? If you can't, literally are snowed in, can't get out, can't get to a hospital, ambulance can't even make it out to you, whatever the case may be, what do you have in your home to take care of a medical emergency, and medicines? Okay, so stockpiled up on stuff. Let's see what else. I have a cleaning roof and your gutters. So getting up on your roof, you know, cleaning out the gutters, cleaning out the top of the roof, getting extra leaves off, extra branches, whatever it is, cleaning those gutters out, you know, making sure that they're ready to go. They're all clear, that there's, you know, extra attachments so that the water is displacing, you know, where it's supposed to. You know, when it does come down the gutter, right? Is that situation good? Is there maybe a project you need to do to make sure, you know, you're getting that water displaced to where it needs to go? And you're preparing however you need to prepare. You know, maybe that is, hey, you had a project where you needed to divert water and you need to make some gullies going away from your house, right? With some rocks, and you need to get that project done, right? Just so water is not standing around your home. You know, whatever it is, pay attention to stuff. And if you've never done that, maybe this is the year that you really pay attention to when it's raining. You're going outside, you're seeing where water is collecting, you're seeing where flooding is happening. Even those minor flooding areas and spots, those are the ones that are going to go first when it just starts to go over the hill and starts to get a little bit more of a serious situation. Okay. Next thing I have is stocked weather gear. So, you know, your extra gloves, your extra beanies, your hoodies, your you know, down feather, heavier jackets, you know, your scarves, your earmuffs, things like that, that keep, you know, you and the kiddos warm when you're out. You know, the thing with winter is stuff still has to get done. Chores still have to get done. Animals still have to get fed. Things still have to happen. And so you need to be bundled up and, have the right gear to be able to still work outside and be outside and play outside, whatever it is. Okay. I'm sorry. That was annoying the crap out of me. You know, what is it that you need to just be able to stay warm and stay bundled up? Next thing I have is your car kit or your car stuff, right? Be thinking about your ice scraper, you know, your de-icer, you know, all your fluids are good. You know, how are your tires? Are you going to have the studded tires? Do you have your chains? You know, do you have all the safety stuff if you got stuck on the road? Now, you should have safety stuff already if you got stuck on the road, but be thinking and making sure that you've topped off and you're good with your actual snow, ice, that type of stuff in your car, ready to go. Emergency blanket. You get snowed in, you get trapped, you go off the road, nobody can see you, find you. You know, do you have the emergency stuff to stay safe, to stay warm? Emergency blankets, that type of thing. Flare, that type of stuff, right? Alternate ways to communicate, right? Where we're moving, for example, there's no cell phone service, right? And so what are your backups? What are your backups when you're on those roads? What are your other options? Do you have satellite phones? What are you doing to get ready for a brutal winter, and the possibility of you being stuck in something and needing help? And I thought I had one more, you guys, but that was my last one. So that was 13 things that we're thinking about, that we're doing, that we're getting ready. Another thing that we're personally doing is getting ready security wise, right? As soon as we close in the home, the big thing is get the security going immediately on the property. And you want that in general, but for me, every season as things move forward, you know, security is always in the forefront. So it's getting ready for winter and getting ready security wise to stay safe, to stay protected, all that good stuff. So hopefully this gave you guys a bunch of ideas of getting ready for winter. Let me know what you're doing for winter. A lot of people also are preserving food like crazy right now. And then they preserve during the summer because obviously their gardens are producing. They're able to put that food up, preserve it, and then keep it for the winter, right? So they're not having to do so much of that preserving of food in the winter, that type of thing. You can do other projects. So let me know. I'd like to hear what you guys' thoughts are. What is it that you're doing to prepare for winter? Maybe there's a very specific thing that you're doing for your homestead or your home to get ready for winter. I'd love to hear it. Let me know. Share it with the group. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.